In this video, I'm going to show you how to get hyper focused so that you can increase your productivity and smash your goals. Hey everybody, and welcome to Optimal Achiever. My name is Mike, and today we're going to talk about focus. I believe that focus is one of the strongest skills that you can learn as an entrepreneur. It is one of the number one keys for you to succeed in business and in life. And I think that today, in today's world especially, entrepreneurs struggle with this. They lack focus because there's just so much overwhelming information online. There's so many people out there fighting for our attention that it just makes it hard for us. It makes it hard for us to focus. So today, specifically, I'm going to talk about 5 tips so that you can increase your focus, so that you can increase your productivity. All right, number 1, the first thing you want to do is you want to annihilate all other options and focus on one thing. Okay, so I think the big mistake that a lot of people make is that, I get it. You as an entrepreneur, you want to make things happen. You're fighting for freedom. You want to spend more time with your family. You want to leave your job so that you could do something that's more meaningful. You want to make an impact on other people. You want to do all these things and you want to get there really fast, right? You're eager. And at some points, you're very desperate. You're very desperate to get out of a situation. So what happens is that you want to speed up the process. And to speed up the process, you try to do too many things at once. The problem with this is that we just get overwhelmed, and we when we get overwhelmed, we get frustrated, and when we get frustrated, we're operating from a bad emotional and mental state, right? And it's just hard to create from here. It's hard to create effectively, and it's hard to create good quality work when you just spread yourself so thin. So the first thing you want to do is you want to annihilate all other options. I say annihilate because I really want you to fight for this, right? I really want you to put in a good effort. When you put too much on your plate, it's robbing you from your goal. It's robbing you from building your business and making the impact that you want. So you have to annihilate all other options. And what you want to focus on is you want to focus on the one big domino in your business. Like, what is the one thing that if you were able to achieve that, it's going to make all the other things either irrelevant or unnecessary, right? What is the one thing that's really going to push the momentum forward? And that's the first thing you want to do, is annihilate all other options and focus on that one big domino that's going to create the most momentum in your business. All right, number 2, we want to simplify and minimize the task at hand. So now that we narrowed it down to one thing, the one big domino, we want to simplify that even further. And the reason why we want to do that is because we want to make these activities sustainable. We want to make it so easy for us to continuously do it, because what's going to get us real far with our business is consistency, right? And when you do things that are too hard, you're not going to be able to sustain that. You're not going to be able to be consistent with it. When something becomes overwhelming or, just such a big task, at first when the motivation is high, we'll be able to do it, but we won't be able to sustain it, right? And that's what we want more than anything. So we want to sustain activity. We want to sustain consistency. So that's why we want to simplify something, minimize it so that it can be easy for us to accomplish that task and just do it for a longer period of time. Long-term consistency is always overpowers and is much greater than short-term intensity, right? So we want to minimize and simplify the task so that we can aim for that long-term consistency. When we aim for long-term consistency, we create habits and we create momentum. That's far more effective than just trying to sprint at something, right off the bat, like just trying to sprint at it, because that's not sustainable. You're gonna lose steam, you're gonna burn out, or you're gonna get tired and you're gonna stop. And starting and stopping is gonna take a lot more energy than for you to continuously, move forward, even if it's at a slower pace. So also you want to understand that your brain, right? Your brain resists big change. So when there's an activity that's too big, like, you put a massive goal in front of you, your brain is going to resist it. It's because it's going to see it as potential, threat, or it's going to see it as uncomfortable. It's going to see it as you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. And when there's that big, step that you have to take in unfamiliar territory, your brain is going to resist. So to overcome that, you want to simplify and minimize it, make it very small so that you don't need motivation to get it done. You don't need willpower to get it done. So small, such an activity that's easy for you to do that you'll do it without any, won't require much. So simplify and minimize. That's number 2. Number 3, you have to make your actions crystal clear. Again, your brain, the main thing for you when it comes to focus, when it comes to achieving success, is you have to overcome internal resistance. That's the main thing that you're trying to do. 90% of the battle is just overcoming internal resistance. And what happens is that when you're not clear about what you have to do, your brain just does not work well with that, right? So like, for example, if someone says, okay, I want you to start eating healthier. Okay, that is very ambiguous, right? It's not really clear on what exactly you need to do. Does that mean that I have to eliminate bad foods? Does that mean that I have to, eat healthier foods? What is healthier foods? Like, is beans okay? Is carbs okay? You can go along the lines of like, well, exactly what is it that you're asking me to do? What exactly do I need to do? Your brain is asking you that when you give it something, a piece of information or a command or an activity to do, is asking, well, what exactly do you want me to do? And the more clarity that you have and the more crystal clear that you make the activity, the easier it is going to be on your brain. So for example, let's say you wanted to grow your audience, right? You want to have more people either follow you on social media or maybe even subscribe to your YouTube channel, right? So you want to make the activity for you to attract people very clear. And for me, that's as simple as like, I plan to record, edit, and upload 3 videos a week. So it's very, very clear to me that I know exactly what I need to do, because by the end of the week, I can measure that. I can say, okay, did I do the 3 videos or not? So your brain just, the more clear you can get, the more specific you can get, it makes it easier for your brain to move forward, right? Because it understands exactly what it needs to do. All right, that's number 3. Number 4 is you want to slow everything down. You're just going to be much more effective if you can slow everything down and operate from a place of concentration, from a place of poise, instead of being like rushing and trying to speed up the process for everything, right? Like if you're leaving your house and you're rushing, you're more likely to forget something because your brain's not able to like catch up, right? So sometimes we move at a pace that's just too fast for our brain to be able to operate effectively. But when you slow down, you can really look around, you can really, take a breath, you can really operate from a place of poise and really be able to look at things very clearly and not miss a move, So when you slow things down, I feel like you're able to operate from a more effective, again, state of mind and emotional state. And what I mean by slowing down too is that it's not necessarily that you have to slow the pace of your activity, but you also want to not be working all the time, right? You want to take breaks, So I find that there's a much better balance, or there's much more energy that's put into your activity and much more effectiveness when you take breaks, right? When you work, let's say you're working really hard and you're working very diligently to move your business forward. And then, before you get to a point of burnout, you take a break, right? You want to create this balance of work and play, because when you play, you're able to allow your brain to recharge. You're able to allow your battery to recharge. And I think that's very important, is for you to, just be able to be fresh, so that when you approach your work, you're coming with, a fresh mind and just, better ideas come out of that. So much more creativity comes from that. So slow things down, I'm not specifically saying when you're working to work slow, I'm not talking about like a sloth here or anything like that, but I'm just saying that find moments to just take a break, to just, relax, to recharge your mind, to do things that you enjoy. Remember to live life, right? Like entrepreneurship is not everything. It's just a part of our lives. It's going to enhance our lives, but we got to remember to live the life, to remind us of what we're fighting for. So slow everything down by making sure that you're creating a balance of work and play. Number 5 is you want to avoid environmental triggers. It's very important to understand that behavior is highly situational. Right? It's going to be hard for you to eat healthy if you're with a group of friends at McDonald's. It's just going to be harder for you because the environment is creating triggers, right? It's creating this craving for a burger and fries, right? And vice versa. Like if you're at Whole Foods and you're trying to eat healthy and you're with a group of friends that they all eat healthy, like that environment is going to support decisions. It's going to help encourage you to eat healthy. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to eat healthier because you're in an environment that supports that. So what you want to make sure you do is you want to avoid anything that triggers bad behaviors, right? So if, let's say, for example, if the number one thing that distracts you online or on your phone is social media, or, or notifications, then you have to remove that. If you need to get work done, you have to remove that. If you maybe are in your house and your house is messy and you just can't concentrate because of that, then clean up the house or get out of the house, right? You want to get or surround yourself around an environment that's going to encourage positive behaviors, and you want to get away from environments that are going to trigger bad behaviors, right? So you just gotta pay close attention. Pay close attention to the things that are distracting you. Pay close attention to the things that are just taking your attention away from what you need to do. And when you find what those things are, remove them. Remove them, because it's not, a lot of times people think it's about discipline and willpower, but a lot of times it's just about surrounding yourself around the right environment. That's going to help you be disciplined, right? So don't make it harder for yourself. When you find those distractions, like what I've done on my phone too, is there's apps that just maybe distracted me or notifications distract me. So I moved everything out. I put everything in folders. I hid them. You don't want to make things pop up and trigger. So just pay attention to your environment. Pay attention to the things that you can move around, the things that you can get away from, the things that you can surround yourself with. They're going to support the right behavior. They're not going to pull you away. They're not going to take away your focus. They're not going to steal your attention. Pay attention to the environment. It's very important because, again, behavior is highly situational. Just put yourself in a better situation so that you could cultivate better behaviors. All right, guys, I want you to take what you've learned today and focus in on the one big domino that's going to push your business forward. I believe that the people that fail, the people that do not succeed in business, that do not succeed in life, is because they live distracted. They allow any little thing to take away their attention, to steal their attention. And if your why is strong, then any distraction is going to rob you of your why. It is the enemy. And I want you to annihilate that. Get it out of your system, get it out of your way, and focus in so that you can achieve the results that you're after.